Welcome back to American Agenda. Author and journalist Bob Woodward's upcoming book into some new focus following some dramatic testimony on the Hill yesterday between Congressman Jim Banks and General Mark Milley about Newsmax. Now, some of the reporting in Woodward's new book coming into question, with critics pointing to discrepancies in his past reporting. In one of his older books, he says Veil, Secret Wars, or the CIA. Woodward claims that he interviewed former President Ronald Reagan CIA Director William J. Casey on his deathbed. However, that exchange has been subject to question. So, can we believe anything that Woodward says? Our panel is back to react to this, and I will start with you, Stacy. Your thoughts. But let's bring up this dramatic exchange that we're talking about first between Milley and Congressman Jim Banks, and then you can respond.
Sure.
And Newsmax, which is the second most watched conservative media outlet in the country today. Do your notes about January 6th reference both Epoch Times and Newsmax as on a list of domestic terrorists?
I'm not recalling this conversation at all.
It's in the book.
It may be in the book. I haven't read the book. I'm not recalling a conversation about Newsmax, Epoch Times.
Do you have a notebook that lists Newsmax and Epoch Times as domestic terrorists as recounted by the Bob Woodward book Peril? Or is Bob Woodward lying to us in the book?
I don't know. I don't recall any conversation about Epoch Times.
Do you believe that Newsmax and Epoch Times are domestic terrorists, or their viewers or readers are domestic terrorists?
No, not at all. I don't think Epoch Times nor Newsmax are domestic terrorist organizations.
Will you produce your notes to this committee?
I'll produce any notes you
relayed
want.
to Bob Woodward in the book that you listed different groups are responsible for January 6th?
Sure, absolutely.
Stacy.
Of course he does, because he's the one who said that, we're suffering from white rage. It's the same thing as a story here locally in St. Louis. Parkway High School had in 2017 a black student who pasted or wrote graffiti on the wall with racial slurs against black kids. The kid who did it was a black kid. So they kind of papered over it. They didn't punish the kid because you can't punish black kids nowadays because racism. So then it happened again this year. This year in 2021, Parkway School District had the same problem. So how does that relate to General Milley? Well, he's not been punished for making that phone call to China, so therefore he's reoffending. We're now finding out everything about him. Thank God the truth is forever, and we eventually get to learn everything that people do. But in his case, he has a higher burden because he wears the stars and the bars. He wears the uniform. He cannot sit there and say, I do not recall. That is not military discipline. Military discipline means when you come into a room and you swear an oath of allegiance to tell the truth in front of a committee or a panel, he's testifying before Congress, punishable by, actually UCMJ type action if he lies to Congress. He should actually answer the question. Yes, in the book I told him I do. Now I don't. That doesn't sound.
Todd, we've got about 45 seconds.
Yeah, the general is filled with grade C fertilizer, not even grade A fertilizer. What a load of hooey, folks. I mean, let's be honest. If allegations against you are being made in a book and you know they're not true, you better be shouting from the mountaintops that it's a great big lie. But look, I think Newsmax ought to wear this as a badge of honor. Clearly, the power of the Newsmax brand is making an impact on people. And the reality is, several years ago, the United States military actually labeled religious organizations like Family Research Council as domestic terrorist groups. So, yes, they do have a track record of doing that in liberal-run Pentagons.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us, Todd Starnes and Stacy Washington. Thank you.
You.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up, we're going to check in with Amanda Rohanty and a look at what is making headlines on social media. That's when we come back. Stay with us.